thousands of miles from the nearest battlefield, a warship drifted silently across the Pacific Ocean. Its crew was gone. Its engines were silent. Its weapons would never fire again. To the casual observer, it looked like nothing more than an aging naval vessel waiting to be scrapped. But beneath the waves, an invisible hunter had already found it. No radar could see it. No lookout could spot it. No satellite could reveal its exact position. Hidden deep below the surface, one of America's most capable attack submarines had spent hours stalking its prey. Inside its control room, there was no shouting, no panic, only quiet voices, glowing sonar displays, and decades of training coming together for one decisive moment. Then the captain gave a single command: fire! Seconds later, a Mark 48 heavyweight torpedo surged through the dark water at tremendous speed. It wasn't aiming for the ship's side, it was aiming for something far more destructive. Moments later, the Pacific erupted. A towering column of water burst beneath the target as one of the most powerful torpedoes ever built demonstrated exactly why submarines remain among the deadliest weapons on Earth. The submarine responsible was USS Charlotte. The target was the retired frigate USS Rodney M. Davis. Although no enemy sailors were aboard, this wasn't just another military exercise. It was one of the most realistic demonstrations of undersea warfare in recent years, and a powerful reminder that even in an age of drones, satellites, and hypersonic missiles, the oceans still belong to those who can remain unseen. So how did USS Charlotte carry out this historic mission? And why is the U.S. Navy still investing billions of dollars in submarines designed around a weapon first invented more than 150 years ago? Let's dive beneath the surface. When most people think of the U.S. Navy, they picture massive aircraft carriers or guided missile destroyers dominating the seas. But ask naval commanders what they fear most, and many will give the same answer: the attack submarine. Hidden beneath the ocean, these silent hunters can track enemy ships for days without being detected, and when they strike, the battle may be over before anyone realizes they're there. That reality was on full display during RIMPAC, the world's largest international naval exercise. There, the nuclear-powered attack submarine USS Charlotte was tasked with sinking the retired frigate USS Rodney M. Davis during a live fire sink-ex. It wasn't an act of war, it was a demonstration of why submarines remain one of the most decisive weapons in modern naval warfare. But before the torpedo was fired, we first need to understand the submarine behind the mission. USS Charlotte, SSN 766, is a Los Angeles-class nuclear-powered attack submarine, one of the most successful submarine classes ever built for the United States Navy. Commissioned in 1991, Charlotte was designed during the closing years of the Cold War, when American submarines spent countless hours tracking Soviet vessels beneath the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Although the Soviet Union disappeared soon after, Charlotte's mission evolved rather than ended. Today, attack submarines like Charlotte perform an extraordinary range of missions. They hunt enemy submarines, shadow surface warships, gather intelligence, escort carrier strike groups, launch cruise missiles, insert special operations forces, and protect vital sea lanes. Unlike ballistic missile submarines, which serve primarily as nuclear deterrents, attack submarines are built to seek out and engage threats directly. At more than 360 feet, 110 meters long, and displacing nearly 7,000 tons submerged, Charlotte is powered by a nuclear reactor that allows it to operate underwater for months without refueling. In practice, its endurance is limited less by fuel than by the amount of food it can carry for its crew. That endurance gives Charlotte one of the greatest advantages in naval warfare: patience. It can remain hidden for extended periods, waiting for the ideal moment to observe or strike while remaining extremely difficult to detect. Its primary sensors are not cameras or radar, but sophisticated sonar systems. Every ship at sea creates a unique acoustic signature, from engines and pumps to propellers cutting through the water. Skilled sonar operators learn to recognize these subtle sounds, allowing them to classify and track contacts long before they are ever seen. Once a target has been identified, Charlotte can employ one of the world's most formidable underwater weapons, the Mark 48 ADCAP heavyweight torpedo. Designed to destroy both submarines and surface ships, the Mark 48 is capable of homing on maneuvering targets and delivering devastating underwater damage. Charlotte can also launch Tomahawk land attack missiles, extending its reach hundreds of miles inland against strategic targets. Combined with its stealth and mobility, this makes it one of the most versatile combat platforms in the U.S. Navy. But even the most advanced submarine is only as capable as the people operating it. A crew of roughly 130 sailors lives and works inside a steel hull where space is limited, privacy is scarce, and every system must function flawlessly. Months of training prepare them for the quiet precision required in undersea warfare. Those years of preparation would soon be put to the test, not against an enemy fleet, but against a retired warship that still had one final mission to fulfill. USS Charlotte wasn't preparing for combat, but the Navy wanted the training to feel as close to combat as possible. That's why the submarine's mission took place during RIMPAC, the Rim of the Pacific exercise. Held every 2 years around the Hawaiian Islands and Southern California, RIMPAC is the largest international maritime exercise in the world. More than 24 nations regularly participate. Hundreds of aircraft, dozens of submarines, surface warships, marine forces, special operations units, and tens of thousands of military personnel. For several weeks, the Pacific Ocean becomes one enormous training ground where Allied navies practice the kinds of operations they hope they'll never have to perform in an actual war. Air defense exercises, submarine hunting, missile defense, amphibious assaults, anti-piracy missions, electronic warfare, search and rescue. Every major aspect of modern naval warfare is rehearsed. But among all these events, one exercise always attracts enormous attention: the SINKEX. Because unlike simulated attacks, this one ends with a real ship disappearing beneath the ocean. To many people, intentionally sinking a warship sounds wasteful. Why destroy a ship that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to build? The answer is simple: because retired ships can still teach the Navy valuable lessons. Computer simulations have become incredibly advanced. Engineers can model explosions, predict flooding, calculate structural stresses, even simulate missile impacts. But simulations are still only models. A real steel ship behaves differently. Every weld, every bulkhead, every deck, every compartment responds uniquely to damage. Only a full-scale sinking can reveal exactly how a warship behaves when subjected to catastrophic forces. That information is priceless. It helps engineers improve future ship designs, it helps weapons developers validate their systems, and it helps sailors understand what actually happens during battle damage. A SINKEX is not about destroying an old ship. It's about preparing the next generation of sailors to survive a future war. The target chosen for USS Charlotte's mission wasn't just any retired vessel. It was USS Rodney M. Davis, FFG-60. Commissioned in 1987, she belonged to the famous Oliver Hazard Perry class of guided missile frigates. During the Cold War, Perry-class frigates became one of the workhorses of the U.S. Navy. Unlike massive aircraft carriers or Aegis destroyers, these ships were designed as affordable escorts. Their primary missions included protecting merchant convoys, escorting carrier strike groups, hunting submarines, providing anti-aircraft defense, supporting multinational operations. Although smaller than destroyers, they proved remarkably versatile. USS Rodney M. Davis served for nearly 3 decades before being decommissioned in 2015. But retirement didn't mean the end of her service. Instead, she would perform one final mission, helping train future generations of sailors. Environmental preparation is only part of the process. The ship also contains decades of military technology, communications equipment, navigation systems, sensitive electronics, computers, classified hardware, advanced sensors. These are carefully removed long before the exercise begins. The Navy has no intention of placing sensitive technology on the ocean floor. By the time USS Rodney M Davis entered the exercise area, she was no longer an operational warship. She had become a carefully prepared engineering test platform. Here's something many viewers don't realize. Warships are incredibly difficult to sink. Movies often show one missile striking, then the ship immediately exploded. Reality is very different. Modern naval vessels are built around one simple philosophy: stay afloat long enough for the crew to save the ship. That's why they're divided into dozens of watertight compartments. If one floods, the others remain dry. Heavy steel bulkheads slow flooding. Fire-resistant materials delay catastrophic damage. Critical machinery is spread throughout the vessel. Electrical systems have redundancy. Emergency pumps can remove thousands of gallons of water every minute. Everything is designed to keep the ship alive, even after severe damage. This is one reason why navies place such enormous emphasis on damage control. Every sailor receives damage control training. Not just engineers, not just officers, everyone. Because in combat, every crew member may become part of the firefighting or flooding control team. The submarine had found its prey. The target ship was ready. The ocean was silent. Now came the most dangerous part of the entire mission. Because once USS Charlotte fired, there would be no taking the torpedo back. For thousands of years, naval warfare followed one simple rule: to sink an enemy ship, you attacked it from above. Cannons fired across the water, bombers attacked from the sky, cruise missiles slammed into the sides of warships, but submarines changed everything. Instead of attacking where ships were strongest, they attacked where they were weakest, underneath. And that is exactly what the Mark 48 AD cap was designed to do. The Mark 48 wasn't created overnight. Its origins stretch back to the Cold War, when the United States expected any future naval conflict to involve heavily armed Soviet submarines and powerful surface fleets. The Navy needed a weapon that could destroy both. The result was the Mark 48 heavyweight torpedo, which entered service in the early 1970s and has been upgraded continuously ever since. Today's version, the Mark 48 Advanced Capability, ADCAP, shares the same mission, but incorporates significant improvements in guidance, processing power, and countermeasure performance. Although many of its detailed capabilities remain classified, what is publicly known is impressive. Nearly 19 feet long, over 3,500 pounds in weight, and carrying a powerful high-explosive warhead, the Mark 48 remains one of the world's premier submarine-launched torpedoes. Unlike anti-ship missiles that travel through the air, the Mark 48 spends its entire journey underwater. That single difference makes it extraordinarily difficult to detect and defend against. Hollywood usually gets this wrong. Movies often show a torpedo blasting from the submarine like a rocket. Reality is far quieter. Inside USS Charlotte's torpedo room, sailors begin by flooding the launch tube with seawater. This equalizes the pressure inside the tube with the pressure outside the submarine. Only then can the outer door safely open. Instead of firing with an explosion, the Mark 48 is ejected using a water ram. Think of it as a powerful hydraulic push rather than a gunshot. The torpedo quietly slides out of the tube. Only after it is safely clear of the submarine does its propulsion system start. This launch method serves two important purposes. First, it reduces stress on the submarine. Second, It minimizes the noise produced during launch, helping the submarine remain hidden after firing. For an attack submarine, staying undetected is almost as important as hitting the target. Inside USS Charlotte, there are no dramatic cheers, no celebration, only quiet professionalism. The fire control team monitors the weapon's progress. Sonar operators listen carefully. Then, the unmistakable sound arrives. The torpedo has reached its target. Observers aboard nearby range safety vessels witness a towering column of water erupt beneath USS Rodney M. The explosion sends shockwaves through the frigate's hull. Steel flexes, compartments begin flooding. The ship starts fighting a battle it cannot win. For USS Charlotte's crew, the mission has succeeded, but for the target, the real story is only beginning. Because a modern warship rarely disappears immediately. Instead, the Pacific Ocean itself begins the final assault. Every gallon of seawater entering the hull adds weight. Every flooded compartment changes the ship's balance. Every passing minute pushes the vessel closer to the point where recovery is impossible. And that raises one final question. How does a warship actually die? The torpedo has done its job. Now, gravity, buoyancy, and the relentless pressure of the ocean take over. The next chapter follows USS Rodney M. through its final moments and reveals what the U.S. Navy learned from watching one of its own warships disappear beneath the Pacific. For a few moments after the explosion, nothing dramatic seems to happen. The ship is still floating. Its silhouette remains intact from a distance. It almost appears as though the torpedo missed. But beneath the waterline, a completely different story is unfolding. Unlike Hollywood explosions, or that instantly tear ships apart, real naval damage often happens in stages. The initial blast is only the beginning. The ocean itself finishes the job. Every modern warship is designed around one simple principle. Keep the ocean outside. The moment seawater gets inside, everything changes. Thousands of gallons begin rushing into damaged compartments. Every gallon weighs over 8 pounds. Within minutes, the ship is carrying hundreds of tons of extra weight. As it settles lower, more openings become submerged. More water enters, which makes the ship sink even lower. Naval architects call this a progressive flooding cycle. Once it begins, stopping it becomes increasingly difficult. On an operational warship, damage control teams would already be fighting for the ship's survival. Emergency pumps would activate. Watertight doors would be sealed. Portable pumps would be moved into flooded spaces. Firefighting teams would battle secondary fires. Engineers would isolate damaged machinery, but aboard USS Rodney M. there was no crew. No one was fighting back. The Pacific Ocean had complete control. One of the most remarkable things about naval engineering is how resistant warships are to sinking. They're not giant, hollow boxes. They're enormous floating structures divided into dozens of watertight compartments. Each compartment acts almost like a separate ship. If one floods, the others continue providing buoyancy. This compartmentalization has saved countless vessels throughout history. Even ships that suffered devastating battle damage often survived because flooding remained confined to only part of the hull. During World War II, numerous U.S. Navy ships endured bomb strikes, torpedo hits, and even kamikaze attacks, yet remained afloat because of effective damage control and robust compartmentalization. That same philosophy exists in modern destroyers, cruisers, amphibious ships, and aircraft carriers. Engineers assume that damage will happen. The goal isn't to build an indestructible ship. The goal is to build one that stays afloat long enough for its crew to save it. Eventually, the outcome becomes inevitable. The bow settles lower, the stern rises slightly, water pours through openings that were once safely above the surface. Air trapped inside the hull escapes in great bursts. Then, almost silently, USS Rodney M. Davis slips beneath the Pacific. No dramatic fireball, no cinematic explosion, just decades of naval service ending beneath the waves. For many watching, it was a sobering sight. This ship had served the United States Navy faithfully for nearly 30 years. It had crossed oceans, protected carrier groups, participated in exercises around the world. Now its final mission is complete, but its service wasn't over. On the ocean floor, the wreck would eventually become an artificial reef, providing habitat for countless marine organisms while continuing to contribute to scientific research and naval understanding. Even in death, the ship would continue serving. By the time USS Rodney M. Davis disappeared beneath the Pacific, USS Charlotte had already vanished. No dramatic victory lap, no public celebration, no triumphant appearance on the surface. The submarine simply slipped back into the ocean. That single fact explains why attack submarines remain among the most feared weapons on Earth. Their greatest strength isn't their torpedoes, it's that they are almost impossible to find when operated correctly. Imagine commanding a carrier strike group. You have guided missile destroyers equipped with the Aegis combat system. Aircraft patrol hundreds of miles from the fleet. Satellites provide intelligence. Airborne early warning aircraft monitor the skies. Everything above the ocean is being watched, but beneath the surface, there may already be an enemy submarine, silent, patient, waiting. Unlike aircraft, submarines don't announce their arrival. Unlike missiles, they don't appear on radar. Instead, they exploit one of the most difficult environments on Earth. The ocean absorbs sound, bends acoustic waves through changing temperatures and salinity, and creates countless layers that submarines can use to mask their movements. Even with today's advanced sonar technology, detecting a quiet submarine is one of the hardest challenges in naval warfare. That is why anti-submarine warfare, often called ASW, has become one of the highest priorities for modern navies. Ironically, submarines hunt destroyers. One of the great ironies of naval warfare is that the very ships built to hunt submarines can also become their targets. Modern destroyers carry hull-mounted sonar, towed sonar arrays, anti-submarine rockets, lightweight torpedoes, MH-60R Seahawk helicopters equipped with dipping sonar and sonobuoys. Together, these systems create multiple layers of defense. Yet submarines continue to pose a serious threat. Why? Because detection is never guaranteed. A submarine only needs one successful attack. The destroyer must detect and defeat every possible threat. That imbalance has shaped naval tactics for decades. During the Cold War, U.S. attack submarines routinely tracked Soviet surface groups and submarines without being detected. Today, submarines continue performing similar intelligence and surveillance missions around the globe. Most of those operations remain classified. When people picture an aircraft carrier strike group, they usually focus on the carrier itself. But beneath that impressive formation is often an unseen guardian, an attack submarine. Its mission is simple: move ahead of the fleet, search for enemy submarines, monitor potential threats, destroy hostile vessels before they can threaten the carrier. In many ways, the submarine serves as the strike group's first line of defense. Its stealth allows it to investigate suspicious contacts without revealing the carrier's location. That hidden protection is one reason every major carrier operating navy places enormous value on attack submarines. The sinking of USS Rodney M. Davis wasn't intended to prove that submarines can sink ships. That has been known for more than a century. Instead, the exercise demonstrated something equally important. The U.S. Navy continues investing in realistic training. Crews still practice firing live weapons. Engineers continue studying ship survivability. Weapons continue being validated under real-world conditions because technology changes, but physics does not. A torpedo still travels underwater. A ship still depends on buoyancy. A submarine still depends on stealth. Those fundamentals remain as relevant today as they were during World War II. Exercises like RIMPAC ensure that sailors understand those realities before they ever face them in combat. When people watch the dramatic footage of USS Rodney M disappearing beneath the Pacific, many saw only an old ship being sunk. The U.S. Navy saw something very different. They saw decades of engineering being tested. They saw submarine crews refining skills that may one day save lives. They saw engineers collecting data that will influence the next generation of warships. Most importantly, they saw proof that one of the oldest truths in naval warfare still holds. The greatest threat at sea is often the one you never see. USS Charlotte didn't make history because it sank a retired frigate. It made history by demonstrating that even in an era of satellites, drones, hypersonic missiles, and artificial intelligence, the silent hunter beneath the waves remains one of the most decisive weapons ever created. Aircraft carriers project power, destroyers defend fleets, cruisers coordinate battles, but somewhere beneath them, a submarine waits, hidden, patient, listening. And if the order ever comes, it may end a battle before the enemy even realizes it has begun. That is the enduring legacy of USS Charlotte's historic sinkex, not just the sinking of a ship, but a powerful reminder that beneath the surface of every ocean lies one of the most dangerous battlefields on Earth.